Hey, 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 it's your girl MJ, and welcome to a live episode that I have not done in a while. I have not been live on YouTube in a while. I have not been live on Facebook in a while, but today, so if you see me looking back and forth, this is my Facebook and this is my YouTube. So basically, I was just thinking about different ways I want to open the eyes and expand the audience of my podcast, which is Booty Call to Bride. Booty Call to Bride, yes. So if you go on iTunes or any type of platform that you can listen to podcasts, you can find it there. But today's episode, not episode, today's brainstorm for an episode that I'm gonna do next week is why do women actually say yes to booty calls? So I've been like researching and trying to figure out what is it that makes a woman say, I want to do a booty call and I don't feel bad about it. I think it's cool. I'm fine with that. What makes a woman get to a point in her life where that is what she wants? So I've been doing some research, and one of the things that I'm going to talk about on the show that's published next Monday are the different types of casual sex relationships. So I'm going to be looking at my notes, so y'all excuse me as I'm looking down. But one of the things is realizing that there are different types of casual sex relationships. Like, for example, you might be a one night stand slash booty call, which means you literally meet someone who is a stranger and you might exchange numbers, and then later that night or the next day, or when they finally initially hit you up outside of the face-to-face or either online interaction, they hit you up in regards to sex. And so then you either receive it, you either take it and say, okay, I'm cool with this, and you say, yes, let's meet up, I want to do it, I'm down. That's one way that you are in a casual sex relationship. Another way that you might be in a casual sexual relationship is if you are cut buddies. Cut buddies is kind of like we're friends and we had sex. So for a cut buddy, if you're in a cut buddy situationship, I would say a cut buddy kind of means, let me go back to my exact definition. A cut buddy, you might have dinner or go to a movie or hang out, kind of like a way to cover or legitimize the fact that you just want to have sex. So if you're a cut buddy, maybe you're not fully there to where I'm one night standing and I don't care, or you just kind of feel like, oh, that's so disrespectful to be that way, so let's go out first and then we do what we do. So that's another level to casual sexual relationships. And the last one that I want to talk about are friends with benefits, where you literally might just be a friend of someone, and then maybe alcohol or some type of intoxication or situation has got you to the point where you slip up, as they say, slip up and actually like have sex with someone who was just your platonic friend. So having a platonic friend that you slip up with, and now y'all are in that icky water of, well, we were really good friends platonically and now we've had sex, so it kind of changes things. So we're not friends with benefits because it's not all about that. We're not cut buddies because it's not all about that, because we actually had a friendship before sex. But now that you've had sex, the door is open. So you see them, you hang out, you may or may not have sex. So those are like three different levels to casual sexual relationships. And so during my research, talking to women, going from my own personal experience, I began to think, why does any woman who knows that even in 2019, being casually sexual with someone comes with getting a reputation? And it's looked down upon by men, women, everyone, to be that woman who is just casually sexual with anyone. I mean, granted, music and the entertainment industry has kind of glorified it to a certain degree, but why do you say yes? Why have I in my past said yes to being casually with someone who in reality can taint my reputation and my ability to be looked at seriously in the future? Why do we do that? And some of the reasons that I realize that women do that are dun, 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 because sometimes when you may or may not feel like physically you're as cute or attractive, being a booty call opens the door for you to have access to men who might not normally pay you any attention. So as much as you like to say you're secure with how you look and this, that, and the other, a lot of times you use sex as a tool because you feel like you won't get turned down for sex. So and you may do this consciously or subconsciously, I won't get turned down for sex. So if I see someone who might be on another level of physical attractiveness than I am, if I approach him with sex, I'm in there. You know, if I approach him with, you need to take me out and spend money on me, he gonna look at me like, girl, you ain't even that bad. I'll go to somebody else. So a lot of times, not consciously, women will try to get a caliber of a man that they feel like they couldn't pull physically on their own if they did not use sex as a way to get them to come in. That's one reason. And looking back over my life, I say I was really concerned with how people looked who I was getting to know. I was really concerned with what people thought about the physical appearance of people who I dated or slept with. I thought it was so important that everyone could say, oh, he fine. And I see why you deal with XYZ, or I see why you're with him. I always had that concern, and I don't even know where that came from. Where does it come from that we are so concerned with looks that we will do anything to get someone who looks very attractive? And I think it comes from a place of low self-esteem. You don't like how you look, so you're trying to overcompensate how you look with how the person who you're with looks. So whether it just be casual sex or whether it just be in a relationship, we're willing to take and put up with a lot of things just so we can say we have an attractive partner. That is one of the reasons why some women say yes to booty calls. Access to men who they normally would not have physically, so they go in with the easy way to get to the man, and that's sexually. Another reason why some women say yes to booty calls in one-night stands and situationships is because it's a compromise. So a lot of times men are saying, I'm not committing with you until we have sex. And then women say, I'm not having sex with you until we commit. So what's an equal playing ground with that? One way to equal that out is to be like, okay, well, I know how to get him to hang around long term because I'm so confident in how great I am physically. If I give him sex, that is my pull to keep him around longer. So even though I might not be getting an actual relationship, I get to have relationship with him longer because I have sex as that pull. For the man, he gets low investment sex. That means he don't have to do nothing for you. He doesn't have to take you out. He doesn't have to introduce you to his friends, because you have made it so easy for him to have sex with you that it is a no-brainer. So a lot of times those are the men who have someone on the side who they're actually pursuing in the way that a woman deserves to be pursued. But because you've made sex so easy for him, it's easy for him to balance you and her, because she's not giving it up and he's got to take her out and do this and do that. But with you, or even if she is giving it up, he's got to do so much to make her feel good enough to do it. But with you, it's an easy phone call, text, and you're going to respond. It's easy to juggle those two different types of women. So then the booty call woman gets mad when she realizes, oh, so you do want a relationship, it's just not me. And then the woman who he actually wants a relationship with is mad because you're getting your booty call sex while you're still dating me, and they think that I'm not enough. When in reality, it's just the man or the woman who has issues who they're not willing to really speak up about. You're not willing to tell the woman who you're serious about, I have a sexual issue, I have a sexual, and not that it's bad, I have sexual desires and urges that I don't want to disrespect you with, so I'm going to go take it over here. Nobody says that. And I think if we did, then maybe it would be something we could actually openly talk about. So, those are the reasons that I have found that women, regardless of what the reputation looks like or what people might say about them, knowing that they are a booty call, those reasons are not enough to stop them from doing it, because they want to compromise and want access to a certain level of man. And the last thing is, we think we can control the reputation that goes out about us. So we think that, well, I am going to be careful. I'm not going to catch nothing. I ain't getting no trains run on me. I'm not having sex with friends. I'm being really careful. I'm going out of town. I'm not sloppy and messy. And so it's going to be easier for me to control the narrative of what my reputation looks like. So you're not afraid to be out there. Or you try to go on the other extreme and say, I could do it like a man, and there's nothing that you're going to say about me to make me feel bad about what I'm doing, and you get real defensive about it, and yada, yada, yada. So this is the discussion I want to have. I see a lot of you have joined and are watching, but y'all ain't saying nothing. So give me some feedback. Why do women say yes to booty calls? Do you agree with the reasons that I said? I'm trying to get some feedback, so for the podcast next week, I can know, what is legitimate? Is it legitimate that you want access to a higher caliber of man as far as physically? Is it true because you want to compromise? You still want the man to have a little bit of him consistently long term? Or is it because you think you can control the narrative, and that people won't think that you are out there like that, like you can control the narrative, so I can do what I want because no one's gonna really find out that I've slept with 59 men or whatever. What is it that makes women say yes to the booty calls, with all the stereotypes, with the fact that you may never get married if people know that this is how you were in high school or this is how you were in college? What is it that makes you still want to be in the booty call? And please don't tell me it was good sex, because you made an agreement physically with your body to go and participate in the sex before you knew whether it was going to be good or not. So you can't say good sex until after the fact. But what allows you to even get yourself in a position to where you will have that casual sex in the first place? what will even allow you to get comfortable enough to have that casual sex in the first place, knowing all the repercussions that can come with it? That is the question that I want to know the answer to. I know what the answer was, what the reason was for me, but for women now, because I'm married and I'm not disconnected from the game. I get it. Things have changed in the last few years since I've been dating, yes, but I'm not that far gone. I've only been married for 2 years. I'm not that far gone from the dating scene to understand how things go. So those are some of the things I'm going to talk about on the podcast next Monday. Why women say yes to booty calls. So I wanted some of y'all's feedback. So I see a whole bunch of you have watched or are watching. Make sure you leave a comment. Let's start the discussion, because this is in reality not to glorify booty calls, but in reality it still happens. And there's people who don't want to be looked at that way, and there's people who don't care that they're looked at that way. Either way, what is the reason? Let me know. Bye. And YouTube, I'm going to sign off here. Bye.